Darth Nihilus is nothing without his mask. Let's build it together.
Welcome back to my little crafting corner of the internet. I am Annie, cosplayer and Star Wars nerd. Today is part 2 of the Darth Nihilus build. In the first video I said there would be 3 videos, and in the second I would show you how I made the shirts and the underlayers. However, when I looked at the video footage, it's not good. I didn't do a good job at recording what exactly I did, and it would not be useful to share that with you guys. So today, instead of showing you how I made the shirts, I will show you how I made the mask and the kitty ears. Now, you might say, Annie, kitty ears? What are you talking about? I thought we were talking about an evil Sith Lord. So, when you're actually looking at Darth Nihilus, you can see he has these triangular shapes on top of his head or under his hood. And some people refer to these as kitty ears, with all due respect, of course. I hope this video can help you either with your own Darth Nihilus build, or is just entertaining, or can teach you something new. Regardless, I hope you enjoy this video, and yeah, let's get started.
First things first, I will need a balaclava as a base layer under the mask. So let's make one. To draft the pattern, I took a few key measurements. The width of my head at both the forehead and the chin, and the circumference of my neck, as well as the length from the top of my head down to my eyes, my chin and my neck. Since we are all about that upcycling life, I used an old black t-shirt to make the balaclava. It actually worked out perfectly. Using my measurements, I drafted a simple base pattern. To make the balaclava properly contour my round head, I added these triangular cutouts that you can see in the pattern. Those create shaping once the seams are sewn together. I adjusted the size and angle slightly until the shape felt right. It's a bit of trial and error, but that's completely normal when drafting something fitted. That is also why I made a mock-up. Then I cut out all the pieces and sewed them together. And that's it, a custom balaclava tailored exactly to my head, made from an old t-shirt.
Now that this one is done, I can start working on the actual mask of Darth Nihilus. And for that I have this Halloween mask. I will use that as a base mask to cover my features. And then on top of this I want to sculpt the actual Darth Nihilus mask.
To make the Darth Nihilus mask, I started by making a pattern based on the Halloween base mask. To do that, I first covered the Halloween mask in cling wrap and layered tape over it. This is actually a very common technique in costume making when you need to create a custom pattern from an existing shape. On top of the tape, I drew the design of the new mask. Since the mask is symmetrical, I only needed to draft one side. Once that was done, I carefully cut the tape layer off and tada! We have a pattern we can work with. Let's cut the pattern out from EVA foam. When working with EVA foam, always use a sharp blade. Clean cuts will save you a lot of sanding later on and make your seams much neater. I shaped the mask a little with my craft knife and a rotary tool. Once I was happy with the shape, I glued the pieces together using contact cement. To hide the seam in the middle of the mask, where I glued the 2 pieces together, I used some structure paste. This particular one is non-toxic. And yes, can we please ignore that the mask changed color? I decided at some point that the white EVA foam was not good for this project, so I switched to the black one. After it dried, I sanded everything down until the surface looked seamless, or as close to seamless as I could get it. Now it is time to build up the Darth Nihilus features using foam clay. Foam clay is exactly what it sounds like. It's foam in clay form. So once it dries, it behaves just like EVA foam, which makes it ideal for adding sculpted details to a foam build while keeping everything lightweight and flexible. After shaping the features, I used my rotary tool to add some extra texture to make the mask look battle-tested and worn. Darth Nihilus mask has some sort of decoration in the middle, which I used a thermoplastic called Worbla for. Worbla is heat activated and can be shaped into basically anything. It also has a sticky side that, when heated up, sticks to basically anything. I also used a few more of my leftover resin half spheres. Here I think you can see very well how you just need to heat up the Worbla and it will stick to anything. Now it's time for a paint job. Please don't forget to seal the EVA foam before painting. I just didn't take a video of it here.
Well, I've been working on the mask. I painted everything white. Actually, I used the spray paint to paint everything white. Then I first gave this a black layer, like this metallic, I don't know exactly what it is. But I first gave it a black layer because if you paint silver on black, it will show way better than if you leave it white. So I did a black layer, then did one silver layer. I need probably 1 or 2 more layers of silver. And then I will continue painting these red stripes and then weather the whole thing. Yeah, and then we can continue. So I started painting this red stripe on top of the eye, but I want to be able to have basically the exact shape on the other side here. So what I was thinking of doing to copy this shape, basically, this is what I use as a template for this. I will copy this shape onto a piece of tape and then cut that out and then use this piece of tape basically to tape it here, draw around the outline and then paint this. And hopefully that will give me a pretty much exact copy of what I've done on that side.
With the top Darth Nihilus mask basically finished, it was time to move on to the black mask underneath. First, I sanded the surface to roughen it up. This helps the glue adhere properly later. Smooth plastic and glue are not the best friends. I felt like the original Halloween mask had a bit too much forehead going on. And instead of booking a hair transplant appointment in Istanbul, I chose violence and grabbed a saw. A few careful cuts later, the excess was gone and the proportions looked much better.
So I tried something and I used this leather I bought at the thrift store. It was part of pants. I cut those apart and wanted to cover the mask that I would be using for Darth Nihilus. I covered that in leather, but first I wet the leather and then let it dry on the mask overnight. So let's see. This is the styrofoam head and you can see inside we have the mask. And let's take the mask out. And it's very funny, you still have this head shape, so I guess it worked. So now I have to see that I can glue this nicely onto the mask.
And glue I did. I didn't take a video, but I used contact cement. I attached the two masks to each other simply by gluing them with super glue.
So, just jumping in here to show you the mask and talk about a few things I didn't take videos of how I made this. So, as you can see, I glued them together, I talked about that, but maybe you can see there is this mesh I put in the eyes. So you don't see my actual eyes. This mesh is just mosquito netting, so that you can put in your window so mosquitoes don't or flies don't come into your room.
Of course you can also use tulle or any other sort of netting. This is just what I had lying around.
That's just this, and it's 2 layers, so it's a bit less transparent. And then also you see hopefully 1, 2, 3, 4 magnets that I glued on the inside. So those 3 will attach to what I will be using to hold the whole thing on my head. That's the next part of this video, so watch that. But then also I have one on my chin because I realized if I only have the 3 on my forehead, the mask kept falling down and I needed something else to anchor it down here. I don't have anything on my chin like the contraption on my head, so what I'm using is just kinesio tape, sports tape, and I put a magnet into this sports tape and then just glue that on my chin. This is how the mask stays on my face. Okay, so today I decided I will finally start working on the headpiece for the cosplay. I'm a bit scared, like scared is a strong word, but I'm a bit worried because I have no idea how to start and where to start. This is just pinned everything to a wicket. I want to end up with something that looks similar to this. Let's see how we can get there. Okay, so I've done a few things now that I didn't record. The main reason why I didn't record is just because I was just playing around and trying to find out and figure out what I'm doing. And yeah, I wasn't sure if it would work out, so I just didn't record. But I used some EVA foam, it's like the very thin EVA foam, and kind of made a head. So you can just put it on. This is how it will look. Very derpy right now, but on the inside you can see I have elastic. But so what I will do next, I have these, I already cut out these ears from some packing foam I had when I ordered EVA foam. This was just in that packing, and I'm gonna attach one here and one here basically. So let's see how that's gonna work out.
Attaching the packing foam kitty ears to the headpiece was fairly straightforward because I could use hot glue. Unlike contact cement, hot glue is non-toxic, and considering it was -8 degrees Celsius outside when I filmed this, I was very happy not to have to do any gluing on the balcony. I wasn't completely satisfied with the initial shape of the ears, so I simply glued additional packing foam onto the base and trimmed away the excess, until I liked the silhouette better.
So I'm really bad right now at taking a video of what I'm doing for this headpiece because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just doing and it works out, and then I'm just gluing it on, and so that's why I'm not recording this much of the process. But this is like my foam head, and you can see underneath like the headpiece that I showed you before, I extended like this ear shape a bit more. I also extended the back with more foam and a ton of glue because you can't really see the back of his head like a normal back shape. It's kind of square. So when I cover everything with this fabric, actually that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna try to cover this with the fabric, and then I will meet you back. So this is what I did. A lot of pins. But yeah, I think this is fine. Especially I wanted some pleats here. This is fine. Like in the back you can still see all the pink, not orange, pink. But that's gonna be covered with other fabric. So now I will first somehow attach these front pleats and then worry about how I extend this to the back. But let's see what glue will work with this and if I have to sew, or let's see how I'm gonna attach this.
In the end, I attached the black fabric, which is by the way the leftover of the t-shirt I used to make the balaclava, through a combination of machine and hand sewing and gluing.
So Darth Kitty, or Darth Nihilus, and his ears are coming along great. The only thing I think that is left to do, it looks a bit crazy without the mask, but I think the only thing left to do, I want to add some Velcro here and here so that it will always stay in this ear shape. It's not just like lying on top, but it's a bit hard to see in this light, but that it's actually showing the ears that I put in so much work to make this crazy thing on my head. So yeah, I'm gonna do that and then I will call it we're done.
Quickly sewing some Velcro on. And the hood stays in its place. You can also see the magnets are working just fine.
With my Darth Nihilus build done, I'm overall very happy with how everything turned out. I'm not completely done. I want to add some more armor pieces at some point in the future, but for now this is fine. I already wore it to my first convention and it was a lot of fun. The only thing I think I still really need to work on before wearing it the next time is the magnet attachment for the mask, because it just wasn't strong enough. So if I am moving my head very slowly, it's fine, it sticks, but if I move my head very rapidly, the mask just flies off. So yeah, that is something I need to work on. Either I need to use more magnets or stronger magnets or a different location for the magnets. I will see. But overall, again, I'm very happy and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did so, let me know, maybe in the comments, leave a like, even subscribe maybe, it would mean the world to me, and I could keep making more videos like this. But until next time,